right now, I would love to start with Dr. Michelle Petikelas. I'm gonna read her biography here, and then we're gonna talk about her method. I think with each healer, we're gonna talk for about 7 minutes. So you will have quite a good understanding of what they're doing. All right. So Dr. Michelle Petikelas' life makeover after loss of significant other coach and speak on stages mentor. Dr. Michelle Petikelas is an international best-selling author, award-winning filmmaker, and founder of Secrets of Life and Death, a professional training center that enables coaches, healers, and entrepreneurs to unleash their true brilliance so they can attract their clients and earn enough money to make a difference in the world. For more than 25 years, Dr. Michelle had been assisting people in creating re-empowered lives after loss through spiritual healing, psychosomatics, cognitive and gestalt psychology, coaching, speaking, art, films, and publishing. Michelle's life coaching business organically evolved 6 years ago out of grant-funded workshops around her award-winning film series, Secrets of Life and Death. She currently leads many transformational programs such as Release Your Loss and Thrive, No Regrets Now, and Magnify Your Mission by Breaking Through the 100K Ceiling. Her recently launched program, Second Chance, From Loss to Success in Wealth, Health, and Love, offers a life makeover for coaches, leaders, and entrepreneurs to create heart-inspired success in their work, health, and relationships. Raised on the East Coast here in California, and earning her psychology and sociology PhD in the Midwest, Michelle now resides with her husband in El Cerrito, California, US. So I am incredibly excited to present you Michelle. So Michelle, let's begin with, I'm gonna put the speaker's view on so people can see you. And my question to you is, what does your method do?
The words that came to me this morning are time to wake up. It's about waking people up to what's missing in their lives. I work with coaches, healers, therapists who have a mission, but something's out of balance. And something happens in their life that causes them to wake up. I worked with people around grief and loss for almost 20 years. And oftentimes the loss of somebody or a significant change in your life is an opportunity to wake up. My method is to first release the emotional feelings, the grief connected with the loss of what was before. And what I have found is that a lot of the experience that you're going through right now is grounded in early childhood trauma and wounds. So the current wake-up call is an opportunity to heal those earlier wounds and to step in more fully into your power. It's like the universe is saying, time to wake up, time to get things in alignment. So sometimes people come to me because they have a relationship issue. Sometimes it's a health issue. A lot of my people are already successful business people, but they tend to work too hard and they neglect the other parts of their lives. And all of it's important. It's important to have a good relationship. If you can't have a good relationship at home, how are you going to have a good relationship with your clients? And if you aren't taking care of your health, then how are you going to really show up and make the difference that you're meant to make in this life? So first is release. Second is to reinvent yourself. That is to heal and fill in the parts that have been missing from those early childhood wounds. And finally, retrain. That is, what do you need to change in the way in which you're doing your work in the world in order to create that balance in your life?
I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, this is amazing. And of course, I had the privilege of working with you as a as being you being my therapist and my coach in the past, and I can definitely vouch for your method. This is amazing. I remember myself going through that part of like aligning what people see out there as being successful and what's behind the scenes of all the drives that are so unhealthy, and how hard it was really to understand and get rid of that. And you really helped me to do that, and I'm very, very grateful. So thank you. So Michelle, in your life, how did you come to this method? What is it based on, and what's in your own life prompted you to really understand your method and come up with this?
Well, of course, most of us healers have learned through personal experience. I actually went through 3 wake-up calls before I started to wake up. It's so interesting how these early childhood patterns are so ingrained, so unconscious, and so interwoven in our behavior that we don't even see it. So when I work with people, I'm working not only on releasing the emotions, but changing the behavior patterns that lock us in to that whole pattern. So what happened to me? Well, it goes all the way back to when I was a little girl, 2 years old. In fact, it's important for you to realize that the first 5 years of your life, 3 to 5 years of your life, are hugely important, and that tiny little things can have a traumatic experience or a traumatic effect on you. So for me, it was the temporary abandonment of my father. He was transferred to Japan and I was left alone, and I was only 2 years old. And although my mother was there, she was overwhelmed. She was moving a whole household to Japan. And that set the pattern I had, which was a people-pleasing pattern. There is another pattern I work with, which is a controlling pattern, and it comes from a different background. But in both cases, the people are trying to get what they need from the world out there instead of standing in their power. So the first wake-up call I had was I was teaching college at a university in Minnesota, and I was doing all the people-pleasing I could do, and they fired me. And I was devastated because I thought, well, if I'm a good girl, if I do everything that everybody wants, that things will work out. So the next thing that happened was that my first husband left me. It was just after I'd finished my PhD and just after I had gotten a promotion, and he left me for another woman. And I was devastated. But again, I ran away. Each time I ran away, it's like I adapted the pattern of pleasing, but I did not change it. When my current husband showed up, I realized I needed to do some work. So I did some inner childhood healing. And right after I finished that, both my parents died within 6 months of each other. And that's when I got the major download. My mother, who was the poster child for living her passion, expressed that she had regrets, that there were certain things that she hadn't accomplished. And that woke me up. I said, if she could have regrets, where does that leave me? And that propelled me on a mission to wake other people up, to say, hello, this is a short and wondrous life, and you need to live it fully. And if you don't, you're wasting your time. And that became my mission. That's why I ended up making the documentary film series, which organically went into coaching, because I realized that the film screenings were not enough. People needed a little more support than that. And that's where I am now. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yes. So first of all, I would love for people now, as you getting to know Michelle, to go to her website and actually go and experience the life makeover with her on her. It's a completely free program right now, and you can go and get it on her website. Michelle, can you tell us what's the URL for your website is?
Well, it's really easy. It's called secondchancesecrets.com. Second chance, not chances, chancesecret.com. And right on the first page is a form that you can fill out that will give you access to my 5-day makeover challenge, which has 5 days of trainings, question and answer sessions, and worksheets to help you to start your transformational process. And in addition, there are 4 extra trainings on health, relationships, and purpose.
I love it. And I personally watched them, and I was totally embracing everything you were saying. It's fantastic. So I highly recommend. So, and of course there you could also read about more about Michelle's method. You could read about the results that she's getting for her clients. Who is she really working with? What does her method do? But I think the best way to really understand her method is to experience it. So if you are right now in a crossroads in your own life, maybe something had happened. I came to Michelle to heal the grief after loss of my first husband. It was a tragic thing that happened years back, and I could never address it because I could never find the right professional. So sometimes we are carrying all that pain for years. And if you decided right now that, listen, I am ready for my life's makeover, I'm ready to move forward, I'm not just here to grieve and sabotage myself because of all the guilt, maybe issues or whatever that loss had left with you. But can I really have a new life? So this is when you go and you do Michelle's Life's Makeover Challenge. So I would highly recommend. And thank you so much, Michelle. That was a pleasure to show you to the world.
Thank you, Lyra. It was my pleasure.
Thank you. All right.